Hey everyone, this is my second video in the Ali Abdaal's $1,000 challenge, and boy, they weren't kidding when they said it was a challenge. So for those of you who already know, this is a challenge which is broken down into multiple milestones. The first milestone is actually generating just $1. The second milestone is that you have to generate $10, and then after that $100, and then $1,000. The first mission is actually quite easy. I think pretty much everybody passed through it quite quickly. The second mission is slightly more difficult. You have to come up with a product idea. It's still relatively easy, and you have to make your first $10. And then after that, this is the place where I am currently right now. I'm supposed to generate $100 by making more sales of the same product. This is a tough place to be in because this is where you actually find your product market fit. Because this is probably my first valley of despair that I'm going through right now, and I have two options: whether I keep focusing and pushing on the same product that I've already designed, or I pivot and come up with something new. It's really a battle of will and emotion, and I don't know what direction finally I'm going to take. So quite difficult. So let's see what happens. I'm hoping to make it through the challenge nonetheless, but it is a tough place to be in right now. Initially, I wanted to make a video of one of the courses that I've put together on how to find your ideal side hustle. I'm probably gonna make a video about it sometime in the future, but that was gonna be my second video in the Ali Abdaal challenge series. But as soon as the challenge started, it was all hustle. So everybody just directly went into getting their first dollars from their friends and family, and then we all probably immediately got into designing that first product that could sell for $10. So I just spent day and night obsessing about how I could really come up with a product and then selling it within the community. And that's the other thing, that all of my sales for now have come from within the community. This is the first time now at the $100 stage where I have to go out and sell my product to people outside of my community. And that's why I said it's really the first big test of the product in terms of whether it fulfills a gap in the market. I would say community is one of the key things that makes this challenge worth it. And to be fair, I wouldn't have reached the milestones that I've reached if there were no community. So I would have gotten stuck at my first $10 if I was not able to get the community support. So let me now talk about my first failure and my first pivot. I started this challenge with a lot of confidence on what marketing knowledge I had already built by listening to a lot of podcasts and reading a lot of books. Unfortunately, spoiler alert, that's not what you need to really get real marketing experience and skills. You actually have to do this stuff. So in my naivety, I basically started selling this course that I had put together, or I was going to put together. I actually was doing the pre-sales for it. I was going to call it the Lead Magnet Mastery, where I was going to teach a solopreneur all this concept of how do you insert an intelligent lead magnet into their offering and increase their sales. And as a bonus, I was going to build some lead magnets for them as well and guide them throughout the whole funnel building process. But turns out that is too much effort, and probably this community of solopreneurs was not looking for something that required a lot of effort on their part. I think they're primarily, at least in my experience, they're primarily looking for quick outcomes to reach the next milestones rather than thinking mid to long term. So immediately after crickets, when I launched my product, I decided I had to pivot. And instead of educating, I decided I would make something that provides the outcomes. So I went to make and started building this AI automation, which would generate lead magnets according to a particular niche and target audience. I built that successfully, and I was able to get one sale out of that automation. I sold that automation, so sold a tangible outcome instead of education. And then I decided this could have potential, even though it's really simple, stupid. I basically went to Lovable and create end-to-end web-based application that does exactly the same. It generates lead magnets. And now this is my product. I got 2 more sales of that product. It's called the Magnet Maestro, and basically what you do is you define your niche and your audience and the type of lead magnet you want, and it basically spits it out. But we're going to talk about Magnet Maestro in detail later. What I want to highlight is that the difficult parts of this challenge are really emotional. Dealing with rejection and failure and crickets when your product launches, it's difficult, especially for somebody who is managing a lot of things on in parallel to starting this side hustle. It just weighs on you, it deflates you completely. So I would say this is really the barrier that you have to break if you want to get into entrepreneurship. I was listening to Alex Hormozy, and he said, and this pain is exactly what you need to break through it. What's that stoicism thing that Ryan Holiday says? The obstacle becomes the way, or the obstacle is the way. And that's exactly true. I have to live with this pain of nobody responding to my product to come up with a solution. And really, these are small numbers that we're trying to reach right now. As this becomes bigger and you have to hunt income which is in the tens of thousands of dollars, it's just going to get more difficult. It's going to have different challenges, but the emotional pain quotient probably will be the same. So the other thing that you're struggling with is emotionally, whether you stick with your current product or whether you pivot. And I wouldn't say I've completely gotten over it now. Part of me believes that the product that I've come up with, this Magnet Maestro, even though it's simplistic, if I do intelligent and enough marketing for it, if I chase people, if I chase sales in my network and outside, I will be able to reach the next milestone. And then another part of me is thinking, hey, I should probably build something which is so unique that immediately has demand, and I'm able to channel that demand instead of trying to create demand. But I don't know, it's a tricky position to be in, because as a starting, I wouldn't even call myself an entrepreneur. As a starting person who wants to go down this path, what insights do I have? What markets do I know that I'm able to make this call, whether to pivot or not? My gut says I should probably stick to the simple, stupid solution and then improve my marketing skills so that I can get this small amount of sales. I think what's really important is that you don't get married to the vehicle, but have a good mission. And maybe I'll have to slightly change this mission. I hope I don't have to, but being a person who has a technology implementation background and somebody who's obsessed about customer acquisition, I thought I will make my mission customer acquisition using technology for small businesses and solopreneurs. And I'm pretty set on that mission for now, but perhaps that's going to change. Who knows? So whether I'm delivering it through tools that help automate marketing workflows or tools that provide analytics into marketing funnels, I'm not sure. I'm going to keep building solutions in this space. And I'm also going to continue to provide services as a consultant and an advisor in setting up marketing funnels. I think that's the space where I want to be right now, just because I'm so passionate about it. However, I do realize this is a space, this is dominated by existing products as well as service. And I was browsing through some subreddits related to solopreneurs and small businesses are extremely upset that they have these marketing agencies reaching out to them almost on a weekly basis. And that just tells you this seems like this is a place which is hyper saturated. So perhaps the only way to make it work is find a new angle, niche down to a specific business, or do a very small part of this big marketing domain. Well, that's what I have to figure out throughout this challenge and beyond. So, talking about Magnet Maestro, what is exactly the problem that we're solving? So, think about a marketing funnel, and what a solopreneur or a small business person has to do is to, first of all, create some content at the top of funnel, which is for building awareness, for somebody to know them and what they're offering. And typically, what you would do is you will just try to get attention from this vast internet space of limited attention spans. You have to attract a person to pay attention to you. Now, this top of the funnel content will probably get them interested into finding out who you are and consume more content from you. Then you have to provide them some sort of value in the content that you're offering. That's one level deeper. And from there, you can probably invite them to giving them some sort of a checklist or guide, something that really solves a problem for them. That is the lead magnet. That's what we're generating with Magnet Maestro. But it's not just the generation of the lead magnet. You have to think about the landing page where you're going to send the audience from your content. You also have to think about, once they've downloaded the lead magnet, how do you nurture them and stay on top of their mind so that they can take the next step and possibly engage with more of your content or possibly buy some of your services. So this whole generation of content as a set for a particular audience and for a niche is what I'm trying to solve with Magnet Maestro. And possibly I'm able to build automations in the future that take away some of the other activities from this workflow. For example, right now they have to manually copy paste and make the document a little bit beautiful. Maybe I can automate that in the future. They have to post things by copying and pasting at the moment. That could be automated. But the thing is, obviously, as I said before, there's a lot of competition in this space. So initially, I just have to somehow build trust with my audience, put my money where my mouth is basically, and build a lead magnet of my own and run top of funnel content that I can send my audiences to. So I've come up with a few ideas. I'm going to be primarily using Instagram and short form reels as my content platforms. And I'm also going to be creating these long form videos on YouTube to drive people towards my solution. So the lesson that I want to apply with Instagram marketing is show, not tell. So a lot of my content so far has been, hey, I've done this, I've done that, and I'm basically just yapping. I think I'm going to switch a little bit and I'm going to create a format where I can actually show how Magnet Maestro works and generate some content and generate actual lead magnets based on use cases. Maybe I come up with some funny use cases or some real actual use cases, and I show that in my short form content. In my long form content, basically, I'm going to be doing videos like this where I talk about challenges that I'm facing and basically building in public and improving my products and services as I work my way towards becoming financially free, hopefully one day. And so, hey, if you're already watching till here, you're already supporting my journeys. I thank you a lot. If you want to support me further, you can check out the links and the products that I'm offering right now. I really appreciate this. And I will also say, please do subscribe so that you can follow along the journey as I make new updates. And if you actually buy Magnet Maestro, you're going to be one of the founding members. You'll always have access to Magnet Maestro for $10 forever, even when I expand features. So that's my promise and commitment to you.